two and one. But speak thou the things which become it sound doctrine, that the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior, as become it holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed, chaste conversations.
Praises to the Most High. Welcome to Chaste Conversations. Again, I'm your sister Nasia. Shalom, ladies.
Shalom.
Praises. So, we're having a discussion tonight about Thankskilling Day. Okay. That's what they call today, Thankskilling Day. Okay. That's exactly what it is. This will be a title called Just the Smell Alone. Sister Sheila, may you have something?
If somebody says Happy Thanksgiving to me one more time, I had enough of it this week. I just was tired of it. I was tired. I was just tired of it.
She said just the saying alone.
Just no more Happy Thanksgiving, please. No more Happy Thanksgiving. I just was like, I had enough of it. And people smiling, saying, and I'm like, hey, yeah, see you next week. We went grocery shopping yesterday at 9 o'clock at night, just so we wouldn't have to deal with people. I mean, we were just not having it. No, we were not having it. But my husband, being, man, he was like, no, we don't celebrate that. No, we don't celebrate that. We don't celebrate that. That ain't something, we don't be doing any of that. And I just was so happy because I was just tired of hearing one more Happy Thanksgiving. And I was like, when he's like the leader of the ship, I was like, thank you. Mm-hmm. I was like, it made me feel so good. Like, yeah. What he said.
Right, what he said.
He said. So I do want to start out, if I could, if the sisters, I want to start with Sirach 32:24. And it says, he that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment, and he that trusteth in him shall fare never the worse. Praise to the Most High.
That's right. And just to land back up what you said earlier, sis, because before, like earlier on in my walk, when somebody tell you Happy Thanksgiving, it was, same to you, or something like that, because you don't really know what to say. You don't know, what I'm saying, all this stuff like that. I'm saying it's not offensive to say, hey, we don't do that, because you know what, sis? That might be a conversation starter, or that might be one seed right there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just like that might be a seed right there. They might be like, well, why she don't celebrate? Let's go to Psalms 50:14.
Psalms 50:14 is, offer unto God thanksgiving and pay thy vows unto the Most High.
Unto the Most High, not unto man, not mankind, not mammon, not the ways of this world, not the doctrines that come with it, but unto the Most High. Okay? What was the precept you have for that? You said you on mute.
Amos 5:21-26.
Okay.
And it says, I despise your feast days. I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols, but let judgment run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. Have ye offered unto me sacrifices and offerings in the wilderness 40 years, O house of Israel? But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch and Chiun your images, the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves. Because, tomorrow they're going to be celebrating so-called Black Friday.
Right. Just the smell alone, meaning everything that encompass what they call Thanksgiving today, right? So if we just take the time to look at that real quick, the Most High says, I despise your feast days. Today would be one of those days. Today would be one of those days. And why does he hate that? He says, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts, because this is not a day that he has made to be glad in him and to rejoice in him. Okay, it's not a day that he has made. Okay, it has nothing to do with him. Actually, has everything to do with everything the opposite. Don't we know? Let's back up a bit. Don't we know? If we don't know, and again, we're bringing this to the ones that don't know, because I'm sure all of us in here know that today, back in the 1600s, okay, the English, the English settlers, okay, the English settlers came to this body of land over here called America today, and raped, robbed, murdered, pillaged, stole, okay, complete genocide of our brothers and sisters of the Northern Kingdom. Complete genocide, right? But this is what they call Thanksgiving. And we know that history that they teach in school is one side of the story. His story. Our oppressors gonna tell the story, but not tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, right? Okay. So the oppression, they brought Christianity, okay, right? And this is a quote from one of the Native Americans, a part of that tribe that got wiped away. This is a quote right here. It says, Thanksgiving Day is a reminder of the genocide of millions of Native people, the theft of Native lands, and the relentless assault of Native culture. Participants in National Day of Mourning honor Native. So in other words, when one group of people, okay, the ones that refuse to know the history behind Thanksgiving, the ones that don't care, right? The ones that oppress us, while they're celebrating their Turkey Day and feasting and celebrating, you have another group of people, the so-called Native Americans, which are our people, they're Israelites, right? You have them, they are celebrating, this day is mourning for them. Why? How are we going to take one thing and make it into something else? Cover it over. It's just like they do today. Listen, y'all follow. It's just like they do today. They take a whole graveyard and they build over it. Completely forget what actually happened and put it to the side. And we just feasting around the table because we benefited off of that. Well, they benefited off of that, not we. They benefited off of that. And we partake in these customs because we're living in the land of our captivity. We participate in these customs. So to finish off what he's saying, it says, it is a day of remembrance and spiritual connection, as well as a protest of racism and oppression, which Native Americans continue to experience. Okay? Because we know that we put them on reservations and they live in deplorable conditions. It's kind of like equal to the ghettos in which they put blacks, so-called blacks in. Remember, it says we will be oppressed together. Okay. You guys, please do your research. I know we have a limited amount of time, but just to paraphrase real quick, they have wiped out the tribes, wiped these people out. These English settlers came to America when the natives were already here. It was not discovered by the so-called white man. Our Native American, our brothers and sisters, so-called Native Americans, were already here. Mm-hmm. Your research, it is not hidden. Okay. In this day, ignorance is a choice because the information is at your fingertips. Okay. They killed our brothers and sisters off to get where they needed to go. They came over here. They couldn't survive. They were dying off every day, like 3, 4, 5 men a day, because they couldn't sustain themselves. And they got everything they needed from the natives and then wiped them off. And in turn, call it, that's where we get Thanksgiving. So when our people were actually extending arms, extending grace, extending mercy, and being helpful, right? They in turn got rape, pillage, genocide in return. Because that's what Esau does. That's what your oppressor does. Thanksgiving Day was only declared by Abraham Lincoln, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, in the 1800s. What this got to do with the Most High? Because he declared his laws and statutes thousands of years before that, and they have not changed. They have not changed. Okay. Thanksgiving and so-called Black Friday. He says, I despise your feast, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Hence the title, just the smell alone, just a stench. Because his people were raped, robbed, and murdered, and it's completely forgot about. And we partaking in it. We are being participants instead of protecting. And I'm going to just jump to that real quick. If Sheila May or Sister Chaya, you could bring out Isaiah 61 verse 8.
For I, Yahweh, love judgment. I hate robbery for burnt offering, and I will direct their work in truth, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them.
The Most High loves judgment. So how are we here participating in the genocide of his people, sitting around the table, right? Participating in this day that came about of the slaughter of our people. And that's where we, I guess, don't connect the dots, because a lot of us don't see ourselves as family. We don't think the Native Americans are part of us, and then we just all over the place. But once we start to see that, and it is happening, okay, the Spirit is moving, the Most High is shaking things up and bringing us back together, right? But the Most High loves judgment and hates the robbery for burnt offerings. You see that? That's exactly what our oppressors did this day over 400 years ago. And they're still doing to us to this day. Robbery. Sister Shilima, you got precept? Fine.
I wanted to go back to Amos 5 and 15 to piggyback off of that precept, that Isaiah 61 and 8. Mm-hmm. This is Amos 5 verse 15. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that the Lord God of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. That's for our people that are participating in these days right now. Our people that are still ignorant to what's going on, haven't learned, they don't want to learn, or they're not listening, or they don't want to hurt people's feelings, like their family member or friends, And so I had my brother tell me, oh, I don't even know what you celebrate. And I was like, no worries. I was like, I don't be celebrating this day. This is a very sad day. This is a sad day for our people. So I thought that that would be a nice one for our people, for Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom, the Amos 5 and 15.
Hate the evil and love the good. This is wickedness that happened. Why are we going out celebrating? Why? Okay. Hate the evil and love the good. All right. And I'm glad you brought that out, because in Isaiah 5 and 20,
woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Kind of, I had a precept to add on to what you guys were saying in Proverbs chapter 4.
Okay.
Verses 14 through 15. And that says, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. 15. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. I thought about that because it's the same thing I think about when we read, Jeremiah chapter 10. It kind of pertains to right now, but usually we attach it to what happens in December. But it's all about right now how we're all, we as in our people that are still worldly, are attaching things and basically making it about them or their feelings and thoughts. So we still have an issue with respect to persons, and how we're supposed to be separated. If it's not the same as what Yahweh was asking, you're not supposed to even really be entertaining it. Just like what Shimon was saying earlier, happy thanks. I shouldn't even be responding with like, you too. Okay, well, tomorrow, see you Thursday, see you on Tuesday. What day is that? The 26th? I'll see you on the 26th. I'll see you on the 23rd. Like, I'm not going to acknowledge the obvious idea of what it is, but we have a respect of persons problem, and if we don't make it about the history and we ignore it, but we still make it about our family, you're still doing a vain thing.
Right. Because we want to cater to everybody's feelings. We want to make sure we don't step on anybody's toes, and we worry about, it's just like when a lot of our people hear the truth on the highways, but yet they're sitting there asking about, well, what about Esau? Well, what about these nations? Don't God love them too? Can't they get in the kingdom? No. Okay. Sorry. We cater to people's feelings. What's wrong with standing up for what you believe in? We are in those times right now where you have to make a clear distinction, a clear line on which side of the fence you on, and not be straddling it, because then you're lukewarm. Mm-hmm. And the Most High does not like lukewarm. What does he do with lukewarm?
Spew it from his mouth.
He spewed them out. Mm-hmm. A clear distinction. Like I say, I was waiting for somebody to say Happy Thanksgiving, so I could be like, I don't celebrate that, and tell them why. You know what I'm saying? I was waiting to plant that seed. I was waiting to defend my so-called Native Americans.
This because I was feeling a little bit upset about all the things, Happy Thanksgiving, and then I'm still trying to get stronger with being able to say the words that is going to come out of my mouth, because I can be brass at times, and I have been thinking like, well, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So my husband has been doing such a great job at role modeling for me, so that I could just back up. I could repeat what he's doing. And that has been very helpful for me. And so, and he's been very direct and very clear. And it's been very helpful for me to use him as my model.
My dad, he knows, but he sent me a text saying, respond to him at all. That text was left on read, because I know what he was going into when he was asking me about what I'm able to eat. So he just got ignored completely. So that's how I handled him, because he already knows. But then I know the title is about, what's the title? Smelling?
Just the smell alone.
Just the smell. So I was out today with my family. And I have a family member that lives with me right now, who knows, of course, that we don't celebrate. I came in the house and my stomach turned. I smelled collard greens on my stove. So I was like, what's going on in here? You know, oh, I'm just cooking. I said, you're cooking for Thanksgiving so that you could take it, you know, to another house? And they were like, yeah. And they were like, oh, I didn't think anything was wrong with, yeah, you know, I don't celebrate it. You don't cook anything related pertaining to it up in this house. You know, so it became a big thing. Needless to say, they stopped cooking and took the food where they needed to go to finish it. But that was just truly disrespectful. But then the person said, and this will lead into what I want to say next. And then they said they honestly did not think it was a big deal to cook the food here if they weren't holding it and hosting it here. So of course I had to explain the same breakdown. On Shabbat, you can't do X, Y, and Z in my house. The same thing applies to the worldly type of holidays. You can't do anything related to it in this house. And so I'm gonna bring out these two scriptures and then say another comment I wanted to about that.
Okay.
So Matthew 15:3, it says, but he answered and said unto them, why do you also transgress the commandments of God by your tradition? And then I wanted to bring out Romans 12:2, where it says, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of So the reason why I brought that out is because of my thought when having the conversation with this person. In all fairness, right, our minds were corrupted. I had researched a little bit on this holiday that the world celebrates, and it depends on where you get your source and your information from. Because if you speak to one nation about it, oh, we were celebrating a harvest. If you speak to another nation about it, they say, oh, it's just like Sukkot tabernacles in the scriptures. And I'm like, okay, but anyway. And then if you speak to the right people, right, the Native Americans, they will tell you what the truth is behind it. Right. So when we come up in the school system, all we're learning about is the First Nations, you know, story about it. So it sounds like the Pilgrims and the Indians were having a ball and feasting together, and you hear nothing else. So
they control the narrative.
You know, yeah, to some degree you can understand their confusion, right? Right. And then we know, being a stiff-necked people anyway, it's hard for us to break, you know, those type of I don't know what to call it, but kind of break those type of strongholds. That's what I'll say. Strongholds. But that's why I brought out that scripture about the being transforming your mind, because they really need to then try to, you know, change their thinking, or just be receptive and open to saying, okay, this is the true history and this is why you don't celebrate it. Because the response the person gave me was, I know that your religion. What do you mean my religion? There's no religion about it. It's in the scriptures. But this person always says your religion. It's not about religion. Right. It's about the scriptures, you know. But yeah, that's just something that made me think about it, because the person genuinely probably didn't think there was anything wrong with it. But then again, we have to remember who put this stuff in their minds and their heads, and how difficult it is. You know, we even struggle with the Most High, you know, keeping his law, statutes, and commandments generation after generation after generation. So we're fighting a big battle. Right. A big battle. And so,
yeah, but we got to fight it. So our praise is that we have the tools to be able to, you know, come back and actually, like, what is it? And to edify, or to, you know, guide, you know, in these ways. We have the tools here.
Really wanted to say thank you, Sister Shalame, for sharing that your experience. For me, this is my first year not celebrating, you know, the pagan holidays. This is my first year being in the truth. And I had some serious challenges leading up to this particular holiday with, you know, with family. And not only that, while I am in the truth, I am married, my husband is not. So it made it even more difficult. But I will say that he did respect my position on my position and my stance. But I was really conflicted because I did not know how to, I didn't want to come across disrespectful to, you know, an older family member who invited me over for dinner on today, but in a very deceitful way. So while she knew I was not celebrating, you know, Thanksgiving, about 3 weeks ago, she was like, "Hey, you coming over to my house for dinner?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, for sure." This is 3 weeks ago, though. And it led to her hiding, you know, important information about when the dinner was going to take place, so forth and so on. But she got me to commit, or I committed. And when I found out it was on this day, I was, you know, I felt sick. My spirit was vexed, and I really did not know how to handle the situation. I had two opportunities. Well, the second time she brought it up to me, I was like, oh, okay, Auntie, you know, I'll be there. But I still was bothered by it, so much so that the Most High gave me an opportunity to get it right because she readdressed it. She said, "Look, I understand what you're trying to do, and if you're only coming because of me, you don't have to come." And so I was grateful, I was thankful, and I was very repentant too. I asked, you know, the Most High for forgiveness, because at the end of the day, I want my love and fear of the Most High to supersede my willingness to, you know, compromise or go along to get along, you know, regardless of who it is, you know, family members, friends, whatever. But this was like the first time that I had to face this, and I really did not know how to handle it. It was hard, but I, you know, thank the Most High for his grace. I thank him for giving me grace and another opportunity to get it right. So I did, you know, tell her, you know, thank you for readdressing it. I declined, and I told her that I just won't gather on, you know, pagan holidays. So Sister Shilame, I thank you for sharing that, because, you know, it has been a struggle for me, you know, because this is my first instance of it. And I really don't know how to have the conversation or address it without making people feel like I'm being disrespectful towards them. And this is an older aunt. She's like 85 years old, you know, but regardless of the age, I still want to stand firm on, you know, my beliefs. And this is just like, I don't know, like training ground for me right
Yes.
now, I guess.
Yes,
But
it is. That the water for sharing that says, "Kind, you 1 year old. You is 1 year old, little baby and a little daddy." Yes, all praises to the Most High. You know, that's how we gotta come back to him. My husband was saying that earlier to somebody. We gotta come back as babes. So once a seed is planted and he grew up, you know, you know how, you know, the tree is 1 year old. We are compared to as trees, right? You 1 year old, sis. So yes, you know, you're walking around, you could barely stand, and all this stuff, right? But so it ain't gonna come naturally. You gotta learn, but you're doing it. And you know, you got through that little hump. So come this time, what next month, you're gonna have to deal with it again. You know, it's gonna be a little bit then next year. So all praise to the Most High. Sister Chaya, I see your hand.
Khan, I put some stuff in the chat at some point if we don't get to it, but I wanted to bring up something else after listening just now, because it made me think of something else. But I put in Proverbs 15 and 18, 16 and 32, and both of them are basically talking about being slow to anger. Because no matter how long we've been trying to figure and navigate and deal with other family that don't that are not aligned with us, we still have to, especially the women, we have to work on our delivery, because sometimes, even though it may be emotionally charged or driven, that's not a bad thing, because we're meant to be emotional creatures, because we're in tune with it, and we lead with it a different way.
Right.
And so I wanted to bring that up for Sis Shelame, also, and Sis Melissa, for whoever may feel like they have to do that all the time, to just not constantly get to that. And then Nahum 1 and 3 was basically saying, just leave it in Yah's hands, like, because it says he will not acquit the wicked, right? It's going to be left up to him. So those are some things that I wanted to just say. Hey, if no one saw the chat, those are the 3 that I wrote in. But I did want to go really quick to Colossians chapter 3, and let's see, verse 24 and 25.
Knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Christ Jehoshai. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he had done. And there is no respect of persons. All praises.
It's hard to think that way about our family, because you don't immediately want to be like, you're wicked. But it's still something that you observe. It's not necessarily an opinion. It's still a fact, but we're trying to navigate it in a way where I'm not prepared for that type of battle. I'm not supposed to just be jumping in. And again, we're reading the word to strengthen ourselves as, the body of armor. So if I'm still in basic training, or I still hadn't even gotten processed, I shouldn't. I'm still letting people know where you are and where you stand. But at some point, it will have to be that way, because it kind of conflicts with, or it kind of voids the whole don't hate the sinner, hate the sin, or something along those lines. I don't know, but you all know what I'm talking about when they say that, and it's like, no, it's all the same person. It's all the same thing. You did it, you knowingly did it, or you didn't know in ignorance, but we still have to figure out, okay, this is where they are. I'm going to do that, because you could be dealing with somebody who's dealing in deceit.
It's a family gathering. Are we just gathering for the family? It sounds good. Oh, we getting together with the family. Why you couldn't did it last week? Why you couldn't do it on a Sabbath day? Let's gather together and read the scriptures, or just get into like it's on this. Come on now, you ain't fooling nobody. I'll see you when I see you. I'll see you 4 days from now when your turkey done ran out. Because they like to keep that turkey around and regurgitate it, put it in between the 2 breads, put seasoning on it the next day with whatever it is, put it in a cone, eat it as ice cream. I don't know. It's been a minute for me, but I'm gonna see you in 5 days once the turkey run out, and that smell is out of the house. Hence the title, just the smell alone. I don't want to smell it. I'm sorry. He hates in your solemn feasts. He hates in these solemn feasts. It says again in Amos 5, Shalom, Sister Siobhan.
Shalom.
We're trying to go away, child. Listen, he says, I despise in your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. He don't give a what about what you got going on today, because they ain't got nothing to do with him. Okay, really and truly. And then drop down to 26. It says, you have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch, meaning your king, not Hamashiach, not Christ, your kings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your, I don't know how you say that word, your Chion, which is an image, it's a deity, idols, your images, the one that got on the little cross, looking sideways, the ones that got the little pot belly, the ones that's shaped like a stone, the ones that you can put around your wrist, called whatever, all these things, wood, stone, whatever it is. You have borne the tabernacle of those things, the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves, right? These feast days that you call that you call Thanksgiving. My whole family came into town. I ain't seen my daughter in months, my mother in months, my brother in months. And guess what? Today, I won't see you today either. If it have to be another couple months before I see you, it is what it is. Because I'm not going to, what does it say? I'm not going to conform myself to this day to be around. Ain't nobody gonna catch me in no pictures walking by in the area.
I know that's right.
You know, no. Oh, you in town for the week? Okay, I'll see you in 5 months. Okay. I'm not sorry. Sorry, but not sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got to stand up for the Most High, because these are the days he says in Amos 5, he despised in. So who gonna stand up for that? Because I don't see none of these family members when I'm celebrating tabernacles that has everything to do with the Most High. I don't see none of these family members when I say, hey, you want to come to the Sabbath day? Just come and spend one. I don't see nobody.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay? So no, I don't want to smell the turkey burning in the fire outside. I don't want to smell the gravy. I don't want to see the cranberry sauce. I could give, you know what's about the apple pie. I'll eat it next month when I buy it from the store. Okay. Okay. No. I don't see nobody around them times. This has nothing to do with the Most High. Not a thing. Do your research. Don't be ignorant. And just to land back real quick off of where, sister, you brought out in Proverbs 4:14-15. Sister Shalom, if you could bring out Sirach chapter 27, verse 12-13.
If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time, but be continually among men of understanding. Verse 13, the discourse of fools is irksome, and their sport is in the wantonness of sin. Whoa.
This sport, this day. Listen, if y'all go back and do your research real quick.
Yep.
Okay. This day was brought about. What was it? They used to do what, the killing of the turkey, the killing of muskrats and all this other stuff. All these things, all these sports they used to do around this day. They would brought native foods, things that were native to the native Indians as far as food goes, and incorporated their own stuff. This is sports, okay? So to land back off of what you were saying earlier, sis, in Proverbs, where it says, enter not into the path of the wicked, into the path of the wicked on this day, and go not in the way of evil men, okay? Avoid it, pass by it, turn from it, okay? So we just read in Sirach 27, 12-13, if thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time. Listen, y'all about to put that turkey on? All right, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay. All right, the smell is in the air. I got to get away. My husband and I went, we were just trying to get something to eat. Okay. And we went to, we're in South Carolina, so we went to Shoney's. And they had a buffet or whatever it is. And the buffet was all you could eat Thanksgiving food. Okay. The chef was not cooking anything else on the menu. It was all buffet food. And he was like, listen, we was hungry, y'all. Because we were riding around for a minute. Wasn't nothing open. And the waitress looking at us, she literally looking at us like, y'all not going to eat the buffet is only $15. You can eat all you can want. We got all the spread, all the turkey, the chicken, and all that stuff. My husband was like, no, peace. Deuce. No, he didn't say peace. He said deuces. We got the dough. We went at the all praise to the Most High, the Dollar General, whoever, what it was, Family Dollar was still open, and we got us a can of soup. Okay? A can of soup.
I know that's right.
Potatoes. Okay? No. If thou be among the indiscreet, observe, it's time to go. The turkey on, it's time to go. But this is why we are in the state we are in today. Our people are lost. Don't feel ashamed that you have to turn down auntie, grandma, mama, on this. Don't be ashamed. The Most High is you're winning points, brownie points as babies with the Most High. Okay, the whatever traditions of men, okay, their family togetherness. It is not family. It is not tradition that has anything to do with the Most High. Family, what is it? My mother, my father, my brother, my sister. Family are the ones that keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. And this day is not in there. It's not in there. Anybody find it in there? No. Okay. And just to close out, if anybody have anything, please bring it out. But just to close, do you know Thanksgiving, if you look up in the Hebrew concordance, is H3034. H3034 or H8426. It is to revere and to worship, to hold out your hands, literally hold out your hands, cast out the things that are within you, and to confess and give praises. Who does that on this day? Right? It's vainglory, it's vain repetitions, it's the traditions and the rudiments of this world, right? Okay, Nehemiah 12:8.
Moreover, the Levites, Joshua, Ben Nui, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Judah, Mattaniah, which was over the Thanksgiving, he and his brethren. Continue.
They were over the worshiping. Look up that word. They were over the worshiping. Okay. That's what Thanksgiving is. Thanksgiving is not pulling out your turkey, stuffing it with stuffing. That's actually unsanitary, but it's not about your cranberry sauce and none of this stuff. The real Thanksgiving is worshiping the Most High. Okay. And keeping his ordinances. Praises. If we're going to drop down to Nehemiah 12:27, it says, at the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, okay? And again, please go back and read your book. This is for the sake of this lesson tonight, but just go back because we know we celebrate the Feast of Dedication, right? Bringing the temple back. We got the temple back from the heathens, right? They sought the Levites. Remember, the Levites were the ones that did our sacrifices and they were in the, taking care of the things of the Most High for Israel. To bring them to Jerusalem to keep the dedication with gladness. Who's that? With gladness, with thanksgiving, and with singing, meaning with worship, with singing, with cymbals, with psalteries, and with harps. Okay? That's true thanksgiving. Go back and read Leviticus chapter 7, verse 11 to 21. If your Thanksgiving don't line up with this ain't Thanksgiving. Okay? Because we're not supposed to touch unclean things, eat of unclean things, okay, and worship to other gods on this day. So if it don't line up with this, it ain't Thanksgiving. It's Thankskilling. All right? Just the smell alone, the Most High hates. Amos chapter 7, verse 11 says, for thus Amos said, Jeroboam shall die by the sword, and Israel shall surely be led away captive by their own, out of their own land. Out of our land, we were led out captive. That's why we dispersed. They call it the diaspora. We are dispersed out of our land. Drop down to 17. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, the Most High, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by mine, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. Okay? So, I think Sister Yeshaya had already touched on that when she brought out her chasers in those 3 segments on how things got turned around. Okay, but we are princesses, kings, and queens. Okay, we were sent to serve a sentence in the land of our captivity, which is here, America, Babylon, and across the four corners of the earth, because we do the things that we do today, as in this day today. We offer unto other gods and do not seek the Most High face. All right? Surely we will die by the sword. It is our people dying on the streets today in this land. Nobody else. Because we refuse to turn away from these things. We refuse to stand up. We want to be a part of the crowd. I'm glad you brought that up, sis, earlier. We want to be a part of the crowd and afraid to offend the crowd instead of standing alone if it need to be for Christ. Okay? So do your due diligence, all right? Just the smell alone he hates. He came to bring division between mother and daughter.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. That's Proverbs 3:31.
Khan. And that's what they brought. That's what they brought to the Native Americans, their ways, and then kill them off. They brought their ways and killed them off. This is what we are, not we in here, but this is what our people are celebrating to this day. So don't be ashamed to say, ma, you know, auntie, whoever it is, don't be ashamed. You have to walk your walk and talk your talk and be about it and build up that armor, you know. We have to. This is why we're in captivity, y'all, because of these things. To close out Deuteronomy 32, 17 to 19.
They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begot thee, thou art an unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters.
You see that? You see that, sisters? All right, we're closing with that. But we are our people are sacrificing. We are sacrificing unto devils, not to God. All right. The rock that begot thee. This rock is Christ, right? On which the Most High is. The rock that begot thee. We are unmindful of it. We completely forgot about the Creator, right? We completely forgot about him and his laws and statutes and what he requires of us. And following the traditions of men. We're following the precepts of mankind. All right? And for a lot of us, if you're going over there just to eat, talking about you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, if you're going over there to eat, the book says, if you want to eat, stay at home. Stay at home and make you a PB&J. Drink a juice box. You don't have to go. You don't have to go over to your family's house on this day to eat. Fast that day. Okay? Because we don't want to give no appearance of evil. We don't want to give no appearance that, hey, we was over there probably partaking in the festivities because we was in the house. Just the smell alone, you should despise. Fine? Fine? All praises to the Most High. Well, that was what we had, sisters. That's what we had for just the smell alone, this Thanksgiving Day. Remember, Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom, we are in this captivity together. This is what they did to our people, and they tend not to shine a light on this, just like they take critical race theory out of the schools what really happened to the, to our people, they did the same thing with the so-called Native Americans. Okay. So let not your ignorance lead you. Open this book, study to show yourself approved. Listen, turn down the turkey, y'all. Don't give in. Turn it down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go home and eat you some chili.
And ease up
know
on the
that's right.
on the replies back. If you ain't ready to fight them, just be like, ignore. Go on. I'm happy. Eventually, they'll forget about you.
And don't eat any leftovers.
Don't eat them leftovers either. Con. All praises to them. No appearance of evil at all. Right. With that being said, same time, same place, most high willing next week. And with that saying,
Shalom.
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 all praise to the most high.